In this session, we will be learning about dashboard meters and warning lights. At the end of this session, you will be able to know the different types of meters and their uses and describe the purpose of each warning lights.
The modern dashboard includes a broad array of gauges, climate control systems, entertainment systems, etc. It also includes various warning lights that helps driver to take appropriate step as required. Let us discuss the various dashboard warning lights and their purposes. Let us have a look at the different type of meters and their uses. An odometer is an instrument that indicates distance traveled by a vehicle such as motorcycle and motor vehicle automobile. The device may be electronic, mechanical, or a combination of both. It is also called as trip meter in case of short trips of every ride. The distance mentioned in the odometer are generally in kilometers. A speedometer or a speed meter is a gauge that measures and displays the instantaneous speed of a vehicle. The unit in which the display shown is in kilometer per hour. There are both analog and digital meters are available nowadays. Bulb indicator shows you that you have a dead bulb. Not all cars have this, but it's a helpful warning. Cruise control indicator is used to display the accelerator opening level to maintain the set speed. This reminds you that cruise control is on. Traction control indicator tells you the traction control is off. A blinking traction control light indicates that the system is preventing wheel spin, in which case you should either let off the gas a bit and drive a little slower, or let off the gas a bit and drive much slower. Stability control indicator indicates that the stability control has been turned off. There's not much reason to turn it off on the road, and some cars can be dangerous in the wet without it. A blinking light indicates that the stability control system is actively preventing loss of control. If this happens, pay attention and stop trying to drive crazy.
Center differential lock or 4 high or low indicates that the center differential on or car with part-time 4-wheel drive has been engaged.
We can't stress this enough. Part-time all-wheel drive is not meant for on-road use, and running it on dry tarmac can cause binding and other problems. We have heard sob stories from dealerships where customers had to pay for costly repairs because the latter didn't realize this. Proximity sensor indicator. Some cars have proximity sensors all around instead of just the rear bumper. This helps you park your big cumbersome vehicle in tight parking spots. It also makes for incessant buzzing as motorcyclists and pedestrians filter around you in traffic. Recognizing whether it's on or off can help prevent a nasty scrape. Econ indicator. This can mean different things on different cars. Some cars use it to tell you that economy mode is engaged, which means that the accelerator and the transmission are in their most relaxed mode. On some cars with cylinder deactivation, This tells you that the system is turned on, typically when you are cruising or coasting, and half your cylinders are not burning gas at the moment. On other cars, this lights up when you are driving in an economical manner, and it can be used as a training tool for good, efficient driving. Other cars use color-changing dash lights for the same purpose. They are educational, helpful, and rather cool. Electric power steering indicator. This indicates a fault in the EPS system. It could mean temporary overheating of the assist motor or a major fault in the system. Electric steering motors are usually compact, and violent sawing at the wheel can sometimes overtax them. This can happen when you are doing a 30-point turn in a tight garage or when your banking comes on a tight autocross. Best let things cool down and see if the problem goes away. Otherwise, it's time for a checkup. Glow plug indicator. Lacking spark plugs, diesels rely on pressure and heat to burn their fuel. As there's little heat in the combustion chamber, when you first start it in the morning, glow plugs heat up the fuel coming out of the injectors to give the engine a better chance of starting. The light should turn on briefly after you switch the ignition to the on position. Once it's off, the plugs are hot enough to start the car. A flashing light may indicate busted plugs, but some cars use the glow plug light as a catch-all indicator for problems ranging from bad injectors to exhaust gas recirculation valve issues. Get it checked as soon as possible. Check engine light can signal any number of issues or faults with the sensors and electronic equipment on the engine, some of which are serious, some of which are not. The most common cause is a busted exhaust oxygen sensor, which is bad for emissions but won't prevent your car from running. Other common causes include ignition coil and spark plug problems on gasoline cars, or an issue with any of the dozen odd sensors that keep your engine happy. Even if you think it's nothing serious, don't ignore it. Have your car subjected to a diagnostic scan as soon as possible. Seatbelt indicator indicates that the driver is not wearing the seatbelt. On newer vehicles, weight sensors in the seat tell the car if someone is sitting there, and warnings will appear for passengers too. If the driver or passengers remain unbelted, a warning chime will sound. Don't ignore it. Studies show that seatbelt use reduces the chance of injury in a crash by 50%. Worse yet, being hit by an airbag without your seatbelt on can be fatal. Airbag indicator signals a malfunction with the airbags or airbag sensor. This means that they may not go off in a crash. Brake indicator signals indicate several things such as vehicle parking brake is engaged, so disengage it. The parking brake sensor is out of alignment, so have it fixed properly. The brake fluid level is low. The hydraulic pressure between the two braking circuits are mismatched. The last two are potentially dangerous and could mean a possible fluid leak as well as reduced or even completely absent braking performance. Don't wait for the light to go off. Check your fluid every morning before you go out because sometimes the warning light comes on too late. Some newer cars also have a brake pad warning light that goes off if the pads need to be replaced. ABS indicator. Some cars have a separate ABS light that signals a problem with the ABS system. If this goes off, that means that the anti-lock braking system has malfunctioned and the brakes may lock up under hard braking. Bring the car in for servicing immediately. Temperature warning. Some older cars with temperature gauges merely have a red light, but many modern cars have this symbol. This indicates that your engine is overheating or is about to overheat. Best to pull over immediately to cool down to avoid potentially expensive engine repair bills. Oil level or pressure warning. This typically signals your oil level is low by about 2 liters. No lasting damage should occur if you top off the oil the moment you say this warning. But if you ignore it, your engine could end up looking like a frying pan that's been left on the burner for a few hours. Not a pretty sight, and a new engine is much more expensive than a new frying pan. Electrical system warning. This one looks like a battery, which means battery problems. It could also mean alternator problems, so simply buying a new battery may not be enough. Thankfully, many shops can test the alternator's charging capacity when you go in for a battery replacement. Transmission warning light. This comes in many different forms and can indicate a malfunction with the transmission itself, the gear shift or transmission fluid overheating. You most often see this on trucks when you are hauling heavy loads or in high-performance cars with automatic transmission if you drive them a little too hard. Needless to say, pulling over to let the transmission cool down is a good idea. Tire pressure monitoring system. This indicates either an issue with the TPMS itself or low pressure in one of your tires. Check immediately. Low pressure carry increased risk of blowout on the highway due to tire overheating. Not to mention the danger of hydroplaning in the rain, as wider tires slide over the water more easily than narrower ones. High beam indicator. This bright icon represents a big danger to other motorists and is one of the most ignored indicators in the Philippines. Leaving your high beams on will blind other motorists and can lead to nasty accidents. Remember to turn them off when there's oncoming traffic or when driving behind another car. You don't need to see the road 2 kilometers ahead when you can simply follow the other guy ahead of you. Insert the key in the main switch and turn the key to the on position. Observe and note down the warning lights in dashboard. Battery lights glow in red, indicates battery discharging. Engine oil light glows in red, indicates oil is low or nil. Parking brake light glows in red, indicates parking brake is applied. Seat belt light glows in red, indicates driver not wear the seat belt. Release the parking brake indicates now light not shown red. Wear the seat belt properly indicates now light not shown red. Observe the engine oil warning light. If it is not glowing, it means oil pump is working. Observe the reading of tachometer. Observe the odometer reading during vehicle moving or running. Observe the trip meter reading.
We have reached the end of this session on dashboard meters and warning lights. By now, you should be able to know the different type of meters and their uses and describe the purpose of each warning lights.